Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 829, 829, July the 6th, Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good to be back with you. Hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. And of course, hope you got to watch the celebration there in Washington. It was a huge success. Trump gave a great speech and it was a pretty good day overall. Had a few minor occurrences, but I think those have been taken care of. And so overall, it was a really good day there in Washington, and hopefully you guys all had a good day as well. Now let's get back to the issues of the day. Now this first thing I'm going to tell you is something you have to watch for yourself. There's no way I can even put this into words. It's something you have to experience for yourself. You've got to watch the recent interview between Sleepy China Joe Biden and Chris Cuomo over at CNN. Just go to YouTube and type in Joe Biden, Chris Cuomo interview, CNN. I'm sure the video will be right there, probably the top 2 or 3 videos. You can watch it for yourself. You will not believe what your eyes and your ears as you watch this video. Crazy Joe is really crazy. And if we had any doubts in our mind, just from what we've seen at this point, whether or not his mental faculties are slipping away, you watch that interview and it will remove all doubt. I can honestly say at this point that creepy, sleepy Uncle China Joe is nuts. The man is nuts. The only way that he's able to even look relatively halfway sane is because he's on the stage with a bunch of other nuts. But they're nuts in a different way. Biden is nuts in the sense that he's losing his mind. I'm serious, man. He does not have complete control of his mental faculties. Get out, Joe. Get out while you can. This asshat, you got to watch this interview. I'm telling you. This asshat tells Cuomo, and by the way, when I'm watching that video, the best word I could think of to describe crazy China Joe is scatterbrained. He is scatterbrained. He cannot seem to, trying to respond to questions, it's like he goes from here to here, and then he'll be in the middle of trying to make a point about something, and he'll go into brain lock and literally forget what he's saying, why he's saying it, and then he tries to recapture himself, and you can see him doing this. He tries to recapture his thoughts, and he really can't do it. He goes off onto something else. He makes a lot of flubs just in trying to explain himself. I mean, he's got a lot of problems. Things are not connecting between his brain and his mouth. And he never had much going on upstairs to begin with, if you know what I mean. He's always been fairly limited in his mental capacity, even when he was young. So, old age is setting in. It's sad. And somebody who's close to him, his family, friends, somebody ought to go to him and say, man, it's, you got to get out of this race. I mean, he is, and there's a lot of things coming down the pike. He's got all these problems. The Ukraine thing is eventually going to come back and bite him in the ass. That's not going away, especially when he's got his son out there, who's as nutty as he is and probably twice as dumb, exposing criminal conspiracies to the New Yorker magazine that he's involved in with his father in relations to China, business deals, backdoor business deals, admitting to all these things. I mean, things that were covered up by the media, by the way, because this was all happening when he was vice president. So Crazy Uncle Joe, in addition to just his presentation and his sort of scatterbrained attempts to actually even conduct an interview or sit through an interview, while he's being thrown softballs by Chris Cuomo, the younger brother, I believe, of Mario the Pious. So, I mean, and he's pretty dumb in his own right. Let's be honest. I mean, we got a couple of real dummies here. I mean, if this were a good, sharp, intelligent interviewer, creepy, sleepy Uncle China Joe would have been disposed of in seconds. Only because he's dealing with a guy who's almost as dumb as he is, who's pitching him softballs and letting him slide on everything. Did he get away with this interview with CNN? But he certainly didn't get away with it with me. And I'm certainly, if you guys will watch the video, you'll see what I mean. It's hard to watch in a way. But so Sleepy Creepy China Joe says that get this, you're not going to believe this. That's why I say you got to watch the video. You're not going to believe this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Creepy Sleepy China Joe says that Russian meddling would not have happened under his and Obama's watch. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Let me repeat that. Listen closely. Creepy Sleepy China Joe said that Russian meddling would not have happened under his and Obama's watch. Obviously, it did happen under his and Obama's watch, and much more. Oh, yes, much, much more. Much, much more. There was some other meddling that was going on in the 2016 election, and it wasn't the Russians, Joe. and remember, Uncle Joe, creepy, sleepy Uncle Joe, knows every bit of this. He was in that meeting on the last meeting they had at the White House, that secret meeting where Rice wrote the Cover Your Ass letter. He was also brought in when Obama created his fusion cell, his little secret task force based on the Brennan's task force. Biden was brought in to be a part of that. He was in all those briefings. He was a part of all this stuff that went down and knows about every bit of it. He's just too stupid to know that he's likely going to be caught up in this. Big time. He says that Trump embraces thugs and dictators. Really? Thugs and dictators. After what they did in the Iran deal? This is just hard to believe. He also says that if Trump is reelected, that there will be no NATO in 4 years. I don't care. No, Trump came to office and said NATO's outlived its usefulness, which it had. And nobody was paying their fair share. And they weren't focusing on the real problem. Now Trump has corrected that. Now he's got them paying what they're supposed to be paying. He's got them focused on what they should be focused on, and everything's fine. He gets along great with the head of NATO, the military, the general for the head of NATO. He gets along fabulously with him. He's been praising Trump a lot. He says, Biden says that Trump can't build coalitions. Well, I don't know if he needs any. Let's take a look at what he did with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. For 8 years, Obama and creepy, sleepy China Joe couldn't get anything done. ISIS was expanding all over the place. Through Syria, all through Iraq, Northern Africa. Along comes Trump, and in 1 year, he takes back 100% of the territory that ISIS previously held. And did it pretty much on his own. Didn't need NATO. Sadly, as I've said, crazy, sleepy China Joe is not going to be the nominee. And I'm sad because I wish he was. I would love nothing more than to see Trump facing off against Biden. That would be just fantastic. Trump would win probably 42, 43 states. It would be a landslide. He would just destroy Biden. Absolutely just massacre him. Wouldn't even be close. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. As I said, Biden's falling like a rock. He's right now fallen down to 3rd place, the last I heard, in Iowa. If Biden comes in 3rd or worse, if he doesn't come in the top 2 in Iowa, he's probably done. If he doesn't come in the top 2 in Iowa and New Hampshire, he's definitely done. And that's probably going to happen. That's what I see happening, because I think by the 3rd debate, he'll be down around 14, 15, 16%. Because he gets worse and worse. He can't correct himself. He can't help himself. He's incapable of that. I've been watching this guy for years, man. What you're seeing is what you've got. The idea that he's somehow going to bounce back and have a good debate is not... It's not going to happen. He's not capable of having a good debate. He's never had a good debate in his life. And especially now. He's got serious issues with his mental faculties. Things are not exactly clicking, if you know what I mean. So unfortunately, he's not going to be the nominee. And the Rotten Reverend is just sitting back waiting for that third debate. She's waiting for Biden to drop down to about 14, 15%, and then she's going to throw her hat in the ring. She'll gobble up probably half of his, and so he'll be down in single digits at that point, and the Rotten Reverend Clinton will jump in, and she'll be in the 20s. And then, of course, Kamala Harris, who, of course, got her start in politics doing the horizontal bop with the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, along with Hiawatha. Those two will have to go at each other, and the first time they're in a debate together, that's exactly what you're going to see, because now they're kind of fighting it out. So once they start going after each other, and there's plenty of material to work with if you're Hiawatha, because Harris is a stone-cold liar. She lies a lot. She's got a bad record, and no one's called her on it yet. But as soon as Hiawatha realizes that it's Harris standing in her way, she is going to go on the attack. Those two will go after each other and destroy each other. And then there'll be nobody left, because that's the only three even remotely viable people you have. Biden, because he was the vice president. Hiawatha, because she's been working on this for a long time. She has an organization, and she does appeal to the people who would normally vote for Hillary, but Hillary's not there, so they have to go to Hiawatha. And then you got Kamala, who's going to be appealing to the far left, and of course the black women, women of color, whatever you're going to call it, Latinos, whatever. She's going to play to that base, and she's going to go even harder left than Hiawatha. So these three are really the only three. If you look at the rest of the field, there's really nobody there that's even remotely electable. That is exactly what the Rotten Reverend Clinton knows, and that's why she's sitting back right now on her perch, just waiting for Biden to be taken out, and waiting for Harris and Hiawatha to take each other out, or beat each other up so bad that they both take heavy hits, which is exactly what's going to happen. And at that point, the Rotten Reverend can bring in the Draft Hillary campaign, and she'll probably shoot up, see herself in the numbers. That if she were to enter the race, she'd be, in the mid to upper 20s, and she'll throw her hat in the ring. Simple as that. Just watch and see. It's my prediction. Could be wrong, but I'm guessing I'm right. Yeah, watch that interview with Biden and Chris Cuomo. It's unbelievable. And I just said a few things. There's a lot more there, believe me. You got to watch it. It's unbelievable. Well, it looks like the demo commies, Rashida Tlaib and Ayanna Pressley, never heard of her before, they trashed the Declaration of Independence as sexist, racist, and prejudiced. And they did it on July 4th, on Independence Day. The old demo commies. Yeah, this is how dumb these people are. They think that that's a popular thing to do. Now, maybe it is popular with their base, but their base is nuts. And their base only occupies about 15% of the counties in the country. That ain't much. So the demo commies, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, trashing the Declaration of Independence on Independence Day as being sexist, racist, and prejudiced. And that's just not going to go over very well with the overwhelming majority of Americans. Do not see the Declaration of Independence is a sexist, racist, and prejudiced document. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. How could you read the Declaration of Independence and come away with that, review of it? It's just, I can only think at this point that Tlaib and this other nut I've never even heard of, Presley, I can only assume that they've never actually read the Declaration of Independence, or even understand the context of why it was written or anything else. That's the only explanation I can come up with. So basically, let's not forget this one. We also have in Teen Vogue magazine. I've never even heard of Teen Vogue magazine, obviously, but some of you ladies out there may have heard of Teen Vogue magazine. If you do get Teen Vogue magazine, I would suggest that you not let your daughters read it, based on the following information. Teen Vogue is saying that the patriotic anthems are racist, and they're telling their young readers to think of America's crimes on the 4th of July. Well, there's certainly a lot of crimes, but they weren't committed by America. They were committed by some rogue a-holes who exist and dwell deep within the swamp, deep within the bowels of the deep state. Some rogue people are not America. We're America. You and I, we're America. Not these rogue players. They are the enemies of America. The enemies within. That's who they are. When you look at all this unbelievable anti-American, far left-wing crazy stuff that we're hearing, this stuff, I'm telling you, it's not popular with the majority of people across this country. Even people who didn't vote for Trump, just independents, or people may not even like Trump that much. Maybe they're just Democrats, have been Democrats all their life. This kind of stuff that you're seeing here, this hardcore anti-Americanism, I'm telling you, will not win them very many electoral votes in the Midwest, not in the South, not in the Southwest, and even in some cases, in the Northeast or even in the Northwest. There's very few places where this kind of crap is considered, popular or good. The overwhelming majority of places that you will go in this country would not find this anti-Americanism to be something that to celebrate or to vote for or support. It's a loser. But looking at all this anti-American crap we've been getting from the demo commies over the last 24 hours or so, I think I've come up with the perfect campaign for the Democrats, the perfect campaign slogan for the Democrats, and it's way better than I'm with her. The perfect campaign slogan that pretty much describes the platform of the Democrats for 2020, in my opinion, should be America Sucks. America Sucks 2020. Vote Democrat because America Sucks 2020. That should be the campaign slogan for the Democrats in 2020. America Sucks. Vote for us. America Sucks. That's what they should do, because that's what they're saying every day, and especially on Independence Day. America sucks. That's their message. And they want to destroy it. Make no mistake about it. They want to destroy everything about our founding documents, our founding fathers, and all of us who think the way that we do. They want to destroy us, my friends. It's not just about elections. It's much, much deeper than that. There's real hatred here for us, for the country, for the president, everything we stand for. I mean, this is what it is, man. I'm not making this up. Take a look around. It is exactly what it appears to be. I mean, these people are hardcore commies. That's why I call them the demo commies. I'm not lying to you. These people are communist. They despise freedom. They despise America. And they think we live in a democracy. No, we live in a representative republic. Democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding on what to have for dinner. That's not what we have. Unbelievable. America Sucks 2020. That should be the Democrat slogan for the upcoming elections. Gateway Pundit is reporting that the reason that Inspector General Huckleberry Horowitz's report is being delayed is because witnesses that wouldn't come forward when Horowitz began his investigation into FISA abuse are now agreeing to testify at the 11th hour. And all this is happening since Barr appointed John Durham to investigate the Spygate scandal. Catherine Herridge of Fox News reporting on Friday that at least one witness outside the DOJ and FBI has just begun cooperating. Now, my guess is this person is either, I'm just guessing, I don't know. I'm guessing this person is either Christopher Steele or Mr. Mifsud, Joseph Mifsud. Douglas wants me to say Mifsud. How's that, Douglas? And I know you only vote once. I just like screwing with you sometimes, brother. But I love your posts. Yes, Douglas keeping me on track so I don't mispronounce the word mifsud. Thank you, Douglas. Okay, so there we go. This is just as I suspected. Of course, when Inspector General Huckleberry Horowitz, nobody was afraid of him. But once Barr appointed Durham, and they realized that Barr is serious because the guy didn't come out of retirement to keep the seat warm and put himself under this kind of heat to destroy his reputation for nothing. No, he's got a purpose. Trust me, Barr is, I'm pretty sure, the real deal. I'm about 99% sure. And I'm sure that he has a lot of confidence in Durham, and Durham looks pretty solid to me. He's not leaking anything, that's for damn sure. I wish he would. I'd get some info. I try to get stuff all the time, man. You can't get nothing on Durham. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing there. This guy's like a ghost. Like he doesn't even exist. So anyway, yes, some important witness who would not come and testify, as well as what we're being told, other people who were not worried before and thought they just let it blow over, realize now that with Durham and Barr, it ain't blowing over. And chances are they're asking questions of various people, and word is getting around that these guys are asking questions and certain types of questions about certain things to certain people, and it's getting mighty hot around a lot of people, and they're starting to sweat. And so they're going to go in and start talking. It's funny that they would be going to Horowitz. I'm sure some of them are going to Durham as well, but they don't really have much of a choice with Durham because he's probably hitting them with subpoenas or what have you. But this is an interesting piece of information from Catherine Herridge. She's not the only source of this, by the way. Mark Meadows said the same thing about 2 weeks ago, and there's been other reports of the similar thing, that there are people coming forward who are concerned. And they should be, because I'm pretty sure Durham and Barr are going to, I'm pretty sure they're going to drop the truth bomb. I really do. You know, I don't know how big the truth bomb is going to be, but I'm pretty sure they're going to drop a pretty hefty truth bomb. And again, this is another reason why Biden is not going to make it, because before the 2020 race starts between the Republican and the Democrat, by then I'm pretty sure that they're already going to have, at least at the very least, had a press conference and announced, you know, their findings and criminal indictments and things. And Biden's caught up in all this. He's also got some Ukraine issues, all these things. These are all just more reasons, but we don't have time to go into that. But anyway, that's the story. Apparently, Catherine Herridge reporting some very key witness that didn't want to come and testify, wouldn't do it before, is now decided to do it. And that's a lot of what's holding up Horowitz, is he's had a lot of people coming in at the last minute wanting to spill their guts. Spill their guts. Trump told reporters on Friday that we will find out in about 2 weeks why VP Pence had to turn around and come back to Washington. And he says it has something to do with something that was happening in New Hampshire. Something that was happening in New Hampshire forced him to turn the plane around. And he said we'll find out in about 2 weeks. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I did this thing, it was funny, but it was true, telling you that the Right Reverend Clinton was going to be the keynote speaker at this cybersecurity conference known as the Fire X, the Fire EXE, I think it is. No, the Fire Eye is what it's called. She was going to be the keynote speaker at this Fire Eye cybersecurity conference. Well, the Fire Eye Security Conference is now sending out emails to everyone to let them know that there's been a change, that due to unforeseen circumstances, the Rotten Reverend Clinton will no longer be the keynote speaker. Yeah, I guess enough people probably called him and said, are you guys serious? You're going to bring the Rotten Reverend Clinton to be the keynote speaker? Set up a private server, unsecured, unencrypted, in her bathroom, in her private residence, using Blackberries on foreign soil that were unsecure, transferring thousands and thousands of classified government emails, including SAP programs, onto a private server that was unencrypted and unprotected for at least 3 to 4 months. The Chinese were living on her server. They were logged in, living on her server. God knows who else. She's going to, and they asked her about bleach bit or wiping her server clean, and she said, "Oh, you mean with a cloth? With a cloth? That's the person you were going to have as your keynote speaker?" My guess is they were probably getting a lot of cancellations. People calling in just, is this true? The Right Reverend Clinton's going to be the keynote? Oh, okay, well, cancel my reservation. I don't need the Right Reverend Clinton's advice on cybersecurity. I don't think so. Madam Cyberhack. My God. Unforeseen circumstances. Maybe she thinks she's not going to be available. Well, it looks like not only is the skateboarder, Bobby O, trying to run for office in Mexico, it looks like Cory Booker is trying to match his act. And so Cory Booker now is campaigning in Mexico. In addition to that, he walked a couple of previously deported illegal alien women, I believe they were, across the U.S. border. Now, I believe that's a crime. It's a crime to enter the country illegally, and I guess if you're a member of Congress and you assist people in illegally crossing the border, I think that this, as far as I'm concerned, the Border Patrol agents should have handcuffed Cory Booker and stuck his ass in a cage and made him drink out of a toilet. That's what I would have done, but I'm kind of crazy. Oh, I know what you're saying. No, you wouldn't have. Oh, yes, I would. Oh, yes, I would. Too bad some of you people don't know some of my friends. I tell you these things I would do, and you say, yeah, he probably wouldn't do that. Oh, ask some of my friends. Oh, yeah, he'd do it. Oh, yeah. Yep. If Mike was head of border security down there, he absolutely would have said, put the cuffs on Booker and throw him in a damn cage and show him where the toilet is. Okay. Well. What do we have on Paul Sperry today? Paul Sperry, the Washington Post fake news reporter, CIA asset, David Ignatius. Remember, the Washington Post is essentially the CIA's newspaper of record, and most of the people who work there are CIA assets, including David Ignatius. As I told you, now let me give you the proof, thanks to Paul Sperry. He must have been watching my video. Washington Post, fake news reporter, CIA asset, David Ignatius, who of course was the recipient of the criminal leak of the intercepts of General Michael Flynn, and of course the mouthpiece for Clapper and Brennan, was the guest speaker at Link campus in Rome at the same time that Mifsud was planting the dope on Papadopoulos. Oh yes, that's right. Ignatius was the guest speaker at Link campus in Rome, Italy, at the exact same time that Mifsud was planting the dope on Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos. Oh my goodness. Also, Paul Sperry points out that in that Washington Post article that I was commenting on the other day, that in that article that they kind of made a boo-boo. Because in that article, they essentially confirm that Mifsud was a Clinton Foundation donor. Just like Alexander Down the Hatch Downer. So 2 of the 3 people involved in the plot to plant the dope on Pops were Clinton Foundation donors. We're told that by Papadopoulos' wife, that Mifsud knows Clinton personally and had dinner with her at least once, that she knows of. And we know that Downer, Down the Hatch Downer, went to Oxford with Slick Willie. He donated a lot of money to the Clinton Foundation on behalf of the Australian taxpayer. I'm telling you, the Right Reverend Clinton planned, organized, directed, and coordinated this entire plot. And I'm right now working on something where I'm going to be making that case here in the very near future, laying out all the evidence. to show how the Rotten Reverend Clinton was connected and moving forward and pushing and guiding and directing this entire thing. And every single thing that you see, the Rotten Reverend Clinton is behind it, or someone involved in the plot is a Rotten Reverend Clinton asset, if you will. She's like a bureaucracy unto herself. She has her own assets. She can marshal the forces of the entire government because she knows how it works. That's what she did. She manipulated all these people using her resources and connections and money. Oh, we're not done with Sleepy Creepy Joe. And this is not even from that interview. This is from another source. So Sleepy Creepy China Joe says that he would repeal Trump's tax cuts and he would reinstate the individual mandate. God. And he's going to bring back New Coke as well. Yes, because that was such a smashing success. Papagalopoulos tweets today, Alexander Downer was illegally spying on me. Yep. Papagalopoulos says during his testimony, Mark Meadows noted that an ambassador was conspiring with the FBI. He's also the one that asked Papagalopoulos if any transcripts had been provided to him or his lawyer about conversations he may have had with FBI informants. He had not. But Meadows suggesting that there was an ambassador conspiring with the FBI? That means that there must be some sort of transcripts or communications between Downer and the FBI. Or something. Brian Cates of the Epoch Times writes that Strzok and Page traveled to London to meet with their Oconus lures to get a report on how successful they were at setting up Papagalopoulos. Now, let's keep in mind, we're referring to the emails, and this goes back a long way. So we talked about this well over a year ago. There's email exchanges where they're talking about Peter's Been Stroking Us is asking Loose Lisa Page if they've gotten the Oconus lures approved. Oconus lures means overseas, spies, basically. This was in December of 2015. So in December of 2015, they're trying to find out if they got approval for the overseas spies. Then in May of 2016, about 5 months later, Priestap goes over to London and speaks to someone. And we believe it could be Downer or Halper or someone in British intelligence. Then Peter's Been Stroking Us and another FBI agent, we assume maybe Pientka, go over to London in August of 2016. And we believe, again, he's meeting either with Halper or someone, but what Brian Cates is suggesting is that he went there to meet with his contact to see how the setup against Papagalopoulos went. Out of time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with more TowerGate. I'm going to go do a little more of a deep dive on Misfit. Thanks a lot. See you guys. Bye.